In this video, I want to share 5 proven strategies to increase your webinar, masterclass, or workshop attendance or show up rates. These are 5 strategies that I found work very well for me and for my clients across my decade plus career. And so the first one is when you host your webinar, masterclass, or workshop, and how soon in front of that you start promoting. You see, you don't want to start promoting too early, or people that sign up are going to forget about it. Your attendance rates and your show up rates are going to suffer. So a couple of parameters for you here. If you are going to promote your event, your webinar to your list, your email list, start promoting. I usually start promoting no more than a week ahead of time. I don't want to start promoting 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or those people who sign up are going to forget about the event. Now, if you're using JV partners or affiliates, same kind of thing. I would start promoting, have them promote about a week ahead of your live webinar. We're talking about live webinars and masterclasses in this case. If you're running ads, you're going to want to start a little earlier because you want to warm up the metapixel, if you're going to use that, for example, and give the ad network some time to try to optimize for registrations for your webinar. So I would usually say closer to like 2 weeks in that case. So we don't want to start promoting too early, but we want to give enough time to let people know about our event. And those are some good guidelines to follow. Now, when you host your event also matters. You got to know your market. Are your people 9-to-5ers? Are they people who are self-employed, who could come to something in the middle of the day? You need to kind of think about your market. But for the statistics show, and my experience shows that Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays tend to be the best days to host live webinars, masterclasses, and workshops and get the highest attendance rates. As far as time of day, I usually do them around 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. I work mostly with people who are self-employed, though, so they can kind of come in the middle of the day. If your people are 9-to-5ers, you might want to look at around a 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time sort of timeline. But know where your people live, know what their habits are as far as picking the right day and time for your event. So when you host your event and how soon do you start promoting it in front of it can make a difference in your attendance rates. Now, the next one is the frequency of email follow-ups. So you want to remind people. So after they register, you want to remind them to come, obviously. And one of the modalities to do that is through email. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, let's say you're using Zoom or something like that for your event, is they'll just have the standard 1 day, 1 hour reminders for that event. And that's good enough if that's all you have the skills to put together. But if you want to ramp it up, you want to increase your attendance, you want to increase the frequency of the email reminders. I've literally helped companies, webinars, optimized webinars. I've literally bumped attendance rates at least 5% just by increasing the frequency of the email send. So I'll send an 18-hour reminder, hey, we're coming up. I'll send a 3-hour, a 1-hour, a 15-minute reminder to make sure that people know and remember that event is happening. Now, you might be saying, well, I don't want to over send to people. I don't want to bug people. From my experience, very few people mind it. They've signed up for something. Occasionally, of course, you're going to get somebody who says, well, I'm going to come. That's okay. But don't worry about that. The upside is going to be much better than that one person that might say something about the frequency of your reminders. So increasing the frequency of your email reminders is a good strategy to bump attendance. People just don't open every email. They need some reminders. Okay, got a little note down here just in case I don't want to forget anything. So we've talked about when to host and how soon to start promoting. We've talked about reminder sequence for email. The next one is SMS, so text message reminders. I use a tool called ClickSend. That's what I use, ClickSend, to send out text reminders to my registrants for my presentations. And so I always have that field in my registration page. And so what I'll usually do is I'll send out a text immediately saying, hey, it's John here. I'm going to send you some text reminders as we get closer. And then I'll send a text about an hour before the webinar starts. and then I'll send one about 5 minutes. And both of those, the hour and the 5 minutes, have a link to access the webinar room, right? So I'll send a couple SMSs right at the last little bit, and then I'll send a number of emails as well. Again, we want to increase the frequency and the number of reminders for people as it gets closer to your event if you want more of them to show up. So those are really critical elements. Another one is to make sure they get your webinar, your event on their calendar, right? And so a great way to do this is after people register, on the page that follows, the thank you page, the confirmation page, is a great place for you to have a link for them to add the actual webinar room link to their calendar. And if it gets on their calendar, it's much more likely for them to attend that event. And so I use a tool called addevent.com, that easily allows me to integrate my Zoom, or if I'm using another webinar software, I can get the actual live webinar room link into the tool. And then it allows people to just literally click a button and add it to their Google Calendar or Outlook or whatever they're using for their business. We want to make sure to immediately get that event on their calendar. That will improve their attendance as well. And the final one, the fifth one, people don't really think about, which is arguably the most powerful, is the topic that you choose to share on your webinar, masterclass, or workshop. The topic that you select and the headline that you use to articulate that topic is the biggest reason, I would argue it's the biggest reason why people both register and rearrange their calendar to attend your event. So we want to make sure to pick a topic that is timely, it's on trend, it speaks to a clear benefit with a touch of curiosity. That's the best way I could describe a good webinar headline. It speaks to a clear, present, desired outcome for your intended buyer with a touch of curiosity. And I'll likely make other videos on headlines here in a moment. So those are my 5 strategies for boosting attendance for your webinar, masterclass. If you implement those, you will see an improvement in your attendance rates. If you'd like to receive a PDF of 7 of the biggest keys to a high converting webinar, so once you're on your webinar, you can make sure to enroll them and convert them into paying clients, there is a link in the description to my latest PDF where you can download that. It's more of a checklist of the main elements of a high converting webinar. You can, again, masterclass, webinar, workshop. There's some great strategies in there. So if you'd like that, go ahead and click the link in the description. That's it for this video. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. There's also another video that is coming onto the screen around me that you can watch if you'd like to continue learning more about these kind of topics. Feel free to leave a comment if you have a question, and I look forward to making another video soon. Take care for now.